We got a big signal coming out of Bitcoin as of yesterday. We have flashed the long entry signal from the Stargate multi-time frame new signals bot. The previous times we flashed a long entry signal back here with the March crash, the banking panic March 13th, and then over here May 19th didn't hit the utmost bottom but sure was close to it, 26k. This came in the long entry, went down to like 25.5, but seeing this long entry signal popping in right now is an extremely good sign as far as this week goes, because this week's going to be a pretty big week. I mean, we have the weekly candle close today because it's Sunday, August 27th, 5:19 p.m. Bitcoin's currently trading at $26,106, but we have the weekly candle close happening today, and then the 2-week candle close happening today, and then we have the monthly candle close happening this week. We also have some events, some things to watch out for this week, and also it's going to be a critical week as far as the technicals go in the chart. So if you're new here, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment. If you've been here, leave a star in the comment. It's going to be a Sunday markets look ahead to watch out for this week. So let's dive straight into it. It's going to be a high level view, and we're going to first start off with the bond yields. Bond yields have spiked up. They hit a new high previously from October 2022, but pull back down. We want to see this pull down and have a correction. We want to see it cool off. We don't want to see it keep rapidly spiking here. We have a trend line coming up that we've been holding ever since July 19th of support. We're at it right now. And then we have this micro downwards resistance right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how this opens up, I think later today or tomorrow, for the bond yields. But very critical that we don't rapidly spike in the bond yields and for them to cool off. And then same with the dollar. We need the dollar to cool off as well too. The dollar is at 104.187 and retesting these highs up here from June and then from December 2022, January 2023, as well as March of 2023. And each one of these kind of pop-ups of these levels have resulted in market corrections, as we've seen in August. We've seen it in August, but when we come back down and break below the middle line of the void lines, that's when we can start to have a recovery in crypto each time. So just like here in January, we broke down back below that middle line in the void lines, which are like Bollinger Bands. So we got above it, had a correction, and then we broke back down below. We had our market melt up in January this year. Then we got above the middle line in February to March. We had our banking panic at the top here. Usually you'll see a scare event when the dollar gets up to the zone. When we break the middle line, that's when we can have a recovery in crypto. And then up here we had June. This was the SEC throwing cases like it was their day job at Coinbase, Binance, and anybody that they could. And then we saw that cool off. We saw it break the middle line, and then we saw crypto start that recovery. And then right now we're above that middle line. And right now, there really isn't a narrative at the moment, but we need to see us come down and break this middle line, which currently is residing around 103. If we can break 103 in the dollar, then to me, that's the telltale sign that cryptos are entering their next recovery phase. So that's what we need to see. We need to see us get rejected at this zone up here and then come back down, and for us to break that 103 level. And then we have the trend line coming up that we've been holding this whole time, which by breaking down below that 103 level will have us break that long-term trend line we've been setting since July 18th, and then we can start our crypto recovery. Stock market, critical that we hold the level at 14,552. That's a fib overlap zone, very critical support. That was a level that we said we would correct down to and that we needed to hold back when the stock market was above 15,500. Right now we do have a 1-day prepare to buy soon signal. We need to see how Monday, Tuesday shapes out for the stock market. If we can have a nice pop-up, get back above 15,000, and then ultimately 15,550, we'll get that 1-day buy now signal. And then to me, it would be very likely that we'd hit a new all-time high for the stock market if we can get back above that level, coinciding with that 1-day buy now blue beam coming in. Then if we look at the stock market against Bitcoin, we have a 1-day sell warning. We want to see this roll over because then Bitcoin would be outperforming the stock market. Right now we have the sell warning. We're at a fib overlap zone, so it's a critical level. So that is going to be on the radar for this week. Total crypto market cap has a 1-day prepare to buy soon, a lot of them. And if we can see that 1-day buy now come in, then we'll be good to go, because ever since like November of last year, the 1-day buy now signal is called the bottom, then the sell, bottom, sell, bottom, and then right now we're at that same level, actually doing a higher low. And then in the oscillators down here, we're actually making a lower low in the RSI and the TSI, and that is hidden bullish divergence. So if we can see that 1 day buy now flash, which will come from the TSI stock RSI crossing up, then it's likely to me the bottom is in. And we're seeing this PSAR coming down, these dotted like stars here, and we're at that key point. We could see two scenarios play out. We just pop up, or we have another kind of triple bottom because we had 1, 2, and then fake breakdown to then a break up, or we could just have a breakdown. Depends on the narrative, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, if anything, the likely scenario would be a fake breakdown to then a pop up, but we could ultimately just pop up from here. But I'm watching the fake breakdown to pop up scenario as the main one that I'm watching, but all could take shape. Now we're looking at total 3, which is the altcoin market cap. We go to the 3-day chart. We don't have any prepare to buy soons, but we do have the MACD starting to flip from dark red to white. We do have the stock RSI cooled off. If we can see that 3-day cross up, then we're good to go for the altcoins. And then that 2-day stock RSI crossing up above that 50 line will get us out of the woods here, and then we can give 375 billion a shot. We can get above 375 billion. We're likely going to come up to $500 billion for the altcoin market cap, which would be a huge spike. If we go to the Bitcoin dominance, we do have a long entry signal here, but if we go to the 12-hour chart, we're still flipped bearish in the super guppy. We're below the 200 moving average, so the tides are turning as far as this goes. If I hide some of these things here, we can look at, we're now below the 200 moving average on the 12-hour, and we want to see a continuation lower. We ultimately need to break down below 49%, and then 48% will do the trick. But we want to stay rejected below 49.5% first level, and then the line in the sand for me is around 50%, where we'd want to see a rejection point come in, because that's where the 200 moving average is, and that's where the trend line is kind of shaping up to be for Bitcoin dominance. We want to see this continue to roll over, Bitcoin to stay stable, so altcoins can pop up. If we look at others dominance, we do have a little gap here though, so we might have to come down and fill that. We do have a long exit signal, do have sell warnings. I think we're at the 786. So if we take this high down to this low here, actually we popped above the 786. So if we cool down and come back down, I'd like to see us hold 10.85%, but first stop 11.25% for the others dominance. If we go to the 3-day chart, we're above the 200 moving average on the 3-day. We want to maintain above that, and then we have this trend line coming up like this. We could see, if I pull it like that, we could see us come down to here, which is around 9.6%, but we do have a steeper trend line coming up like this, which is what I'd like to see hold for immediate continuation like that, which would basically mean that we'd want to hold that 11.25% level for others dominance. Bitcoin futures has that gap still at, and actually Bitcoin futures just flashed a 12-hour buy now signal. But if we look at the gap here, we still have that gap between 27K and 27.5K that needs to get filled, but we do have that gap down here still around 20.3K to 21.2K. So I would say our likelier scenario would be to come up, fill this gap first, and then we could roll over it to fill that gap, but it doesn't need to get filled. This gap is way more likely to get filled here. We could also come down to fill this gap, but then that gap would be up there, so we'd ultimately have to come back up, fill that gap. That gap does not need to be filled. There's been gaps at 3,000 that haven't been filled, but it could get filled, so it's still on the radar. And that would be the level where I'd see us find some support at 20K flat on that psychological level there. Now if we go to Bitcoin, we go to that signal that flashed a long entry. That's huge because we have a 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, and a 12-hour prepare to buy soon. We already got the 12-hour buy now, and that's why I'm just waiting for that 1 day buy now to flash, and to me the Bitcoin bottom would be in. So we're going to be tracking that and keeping people updated in the Discord in real time for when this signal flashes. So if you're not already in the Discord, join the Discord, link is in the bio. And if you want access to the software, the Stargate signals, all these indicators that we have, then request VIP, hit me up in the Discord. It's Rob at Stargate, friend request me, and we'll get you kitted up and suited up before things take off. XRP on the 1 day chart, flashed that long entry at 48 cents when I covered it last week. Right now, we are very close to flashing that 1 day buy now signal. There's another thing, XRP to Bitcoin, that I wanted to share, is that whenever XRP to Bitcoin had crossed up in the TSI, we can look at the past kind of pumps for XRP against Bitcoin, like the one back in May, the one back in July, the one that's impending right now. We can see that whenever it crossed and we saw the MACD flip from red to green, it usually took 3 days until we had that rip up. So that was 3 days right there from the cross to when we saw the spike up. And then right here, it took around 4 days. But if we're looking at the TSI cross, it really took 3 days, and then we ripped up. And right now we're having the cross as we speak, and it's likely we're going to have this confirmed as of tonight. So by Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, we could see at the tail end of this week a big move out of XRP, so keep that on the radar, especially with us seeing that long entry signal, that flash on the XRP to USD chart on the 1 day. Very positive seeing that long entry signal, because I mean, the new indicator, the multi-time frame Stargate signals with the long entries, long exits, absolutely crushed it on XRP. I just got to pull it up. Let's do it. But let me just cover this first. Getting back above 54.5 cents, 55 cents will be critical, and for us to maintain as support there. That was that key level, 54.5, or it was 55.5. Yeah, 54.5 cents that we couldn't break above, and as soon as we did, we ripped. Right now we're stuck below it, so getting above 54.5 cents and holding as support is what we need to see happen. But look at the long entries and long exits. Totally crushed it this year on XRP. Long exit here in September 2022, nailed the top. Long entry November 2022, nailed the bottom. Long exit here in March of 2023, nailed the top. Long entry in May, nailed the bottom. Long exit in July, nailed the top. And I'm going out on a limb and say this long entry nailed the bottom. I mean, the track record of this indicator, this new one, the 7G Star G8, hit it to a T, nailed the swing. So I'm going out on a limb and say XRP is already bottomed. But if we see other factors, Bitcoin, the dollar, the market drivers not go in our favor, the lowest I could see XRP go is to like 38 cents. If we're pulling it from the low set in January to the high set in July, where that takes us, the 786 is 38 cents. And that would be an insane buying opportunity, and I'd definitely be a buyer there, because that's probably the last time to see it in the 30s. Hbar right now, we really need to hold above 5.5 cents, key support, and breaking above 7 cents, I think would rapidly get us up to 10 cents, even, 10 cents to 12 cents. So keep Hbar on the radar. XRP, Hbar, XLM have been performing the best in the market. XLM is running into this trendline resistance that it's formed ever since the pump in July. We have a 1 day prepare to buy soon. We're running into this resistance now. We're at the 786 as we speak as well too, from this low to this high, 786. If we break it, I'd expect us to come down to 11 cents and hold that support. If we dip below further, it would be 10 cents. But if we hold, then I would expect for us to come back up to 13 cents. And if we can break above 13.5 cents, hold that support for a couple of days, then I think we're gonna quickly get up into the 16 cent region. And then we're so close for the momentum to flip up as well too across the board. So all we need is the bond yields, dollar, stock market, and Bitcoin to work with us this week, and then we can see a relief across the board for these altcoins. So that's what I'm going to be watching this week. I'll be keeping people updated in real time in the Discord. Link is in the bio. Come join it. Happy Sunday, and I hope you have a great week here. So I'll see you guys in the Discord and in the next video.